And welcome back to Tales of Los Angeles, Part 54. Now we must escape. Now we must escape the City of Angels.
I like it.
Anyway, this dungeon here is kind of annoying because all the hallways look the same. But there's also a lot of fat loot, and I have no idea what the fuck I was doing there. I think I had a stroke. Sorry.
This place looks familiar. Or
To any of the human ranches?
It could be just the. There you go. I think it reminds me of ranches.
Anyway, new enemies. Cybit, which is an upgraded Rabbit with a new overhead shock that can cause paralysis, and a really charming machine known as Perfect Murder.
Perfect Murder.
That's a hell of a name for it.
I mean, fuck it. Why mince words? We know exactly what we built it for. Perfect murdering.
I'm willing to bet Ewan came up with the name of it.
You ever wanted to murder someone perfectly?
Absolutely.
Perfect
Leave
murder.
no trace. Leave no trace.
Yeah, perfect murder is your best, buddy.
I really find it weird that they would. I can understand having Magi technology, but for shit like this, it's really hard to imagine. And we just gained some Mithril, which is really nice to have for synthesis.
Nice.
Genus is actually somebody who would be really good here, considering his magic can hit all the targets you want him to hit. I'm not sure whether or not I get the idea to use him here or not, but hey.
And I gotta say it because when I first saw Perfect Murder, I immediately thought of it. Does Tales of Symphonia have a war mech?
A war mech?
Yeah.
I would say Perfect Murder was the war mech, but...
Well, more like, as I say that, for those that don't know, in Final Fantasy 1, there was a random encounter in the bridge area before the fight with Tiamat, known as War Mech. It was a 1 in 64 encounter chance, and it was the hardest encounter in the game, even harder than the final boss. Does Tales of Symphonia have a random encounter that can kick your ass?
I'm trying to think.
Well, Tales of Symphonia...
unless you go into an area you're not really prepared for,
Yeah.
or if you go into unless it's an area you're not well suited for,
Yeah.
it can go real bad. But other than that, not really, unless you're doing mania mode. There's not like an enemy like that, but the enemies just kick your ass really fucking hard.
Well, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to classify the same way because Symphonia doesn't have random encounters, so you would have to run into the enemy on purpose to initiate the fight. But I'm wondering if there's ever an area where you see a perfect murder just wandering around. I was like, oh, I wonder what that thing does.
Yeah, it's sort of like the equivalent of fighting Omega Weapon in the Far Plane in 10-2. Which kind of spooked me the very first time I saw it. I was like, oh shit!
I don't know, man. I'll go back as far as Final Fantasy V. Omega himself.
Yeah.
You see, it's like, oh, what is that little metallic spider crawling around there? And then he kicks my ass.
By the way, I was sort of imagining if Final Fantasy ever decided to regain its sense of humor again, that if you've I don't know, but if you ever watched Megas XLR,
I know of it. Yeah.
There was a monster in it called the Regis Mark V that would blow shit up, and while gloating about it like a fire hydrant, he would go, "Victory reigns supreme for the Regis Mark V," or something like that. I imagine that with the Omega Weapon. Victory reigns supreme for the Omega Mark V. Just something like that would be funny as hell.
It could be too early to say. I'm going to go off on a tangent here. I don't know how long we're going to be in this place.
For a very long time.
And is it foolish of me to think to have high hopes for 15?
Honestly, anything would be better than the 13 trilogy.
Yeah.
So, I'm looking forward to it. And it seems like they're having some degree of fun with it.
You think it's a different director may have something to do with that?
A different director, different script, different characters, no lightning.
That's the selling point.
Hell yeah. You could put... Hell, I'd buy big rigs because it had no lightning in it.
I don't think lightning was the name of any of the trucks.
She was actually pretty good at Duodecim though, where they toned down her asshole qualities and made her more of a snarky.
Yeah.
Where she was more sarcastic than outright antagonistic about it. Yeah, we're going off on a 13 tangent here because I don't fucking remember where the hell I'm going. All you have to do here is find key cards that'll open up it's either key cards or switches, where you're gonna raise the level shutters between C, B, and A.
I'm always one for healthy discussion, Matt.
Right. I equipped the Sardonyx here to give Lloyd some lightning strikes. This way I can have an easier time dealing with the machines. Like I just said, electricity is your best bet here. But as I also said before, I'm also I also forget to switch in genus because I are dumb. Then I was like, I don't have indignation yet.
My only hope for 15, honestly, is that they keep the pacing good. You know, pace the game out well so that I feel like I'm always progressing and not. Okay. Shit, gravity turned off.
Apparently, Gnome is the reason why Earth has gravity. Gravitational pull, find Earth's summon spirit.
By the world's ballsack.
What?
Or a comment there. No one wants to get a giant ballsack.
He does.
Yeah, that ballsack is the reason why your feet are on the ground, man.
So when somebody tells you to kiss my balls, you better damn well kiss your ground.
I call it the gnome.
So now we have zero gravity. And this is just sort of like dull. How does it work? You're familiar with those ice sliding puzzles in there? Same way, just follow the pathway I'm doing here.
Ice sliding of another flavor.
Oh yeah. You have to follow one very specific pathway through it too, or else you just get stuck in a loop, which is fucking annoying. How high up are we? We're so high we can kiss the moon, baby.
Pow! Right in the kisser.
Oh Christ! Well, lad, if you lie to me one more time, bang! Zoom to the moon.
You hit it pretty hard there, Lloyd.
That's all. Yeah. We're bad people.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I don't know why the hell that joke sticks out of all of them. I feel terrible every time we make those jokes when we do it. Anyway, off of less horrible tangents, we now have to get through this pathway to those little orange lights. Basically, orange light A to orange light B. And there's one of our 3 switches up there in the northwest? Or east-west, whatever. East-west.
Up there.
That's the red gate lock. And we gave that little bastard wet fur. Weightless. It would be a romantic idea. A girl in a zero gravity. Okay, maybe Zealous takes it the pervy way, but something like that could be an interesting date idea. Just you two floating throughout the sky, embracing each other. That sounds pretty cool.
Think of all the sexual positions. I call this the Kama Sutra Mark V.
The zero G spot. Sorry, I was like zoned out there.
This is a problem again we've had with every other ranch is that the enemy selection is pretty fucking limited and boring as a result. You know, we get side bits and Perfect Murder being the only standout example. We need more perfect murders.
Yeah, seriously. Now that I've managed to like run through the dungeon itself after Perfect Murder, where do you really go from there?
Perfect Annihilation.
Perfect Armageddon?
Yeah.
No, that's really sort of the pinnacle. After Armageddon, what's next? Perfect Catastrophe? No, it's Catastrophe's less than Armageddon.
Perfect Big Bang. Perfect Supernova.
Oh yeah. Sephiroth's all over that shit. The dungeon here sadly isn't much interesting, and quite frankly, I remember playing this through this, the music is not helping. The music adds a holy atmosphere to it all, which I can kind of get with, up until, like, you know, you get lost for, like, the 3rd time, and then the...
Yeah, then it has a droning quality that annoys you.
Right, it can risk putting you to sleep. Unlike Ymir Forest, though, the only reason I don't like this dungeon much is because of myself, because I've never been good with navigation with this kind of shit, especially when all the hallways can look the same to me. But now that we've disengaged the blue lock, we should be able to get into the second anti-gravity area.
I'm surprised with how expansive some of these dungeons can be in terms of floors and...
It's amazing what they do when they get rid of the fucking blocks.
They don't get... no, more like they never bother giving you a map.
That's kind of... I just realized that, but I'm willing to cut Symphonia a break because, well, Welgaia is one of those exceptions rather than the rule. Like, normally the dungeons are constructed in a way that they have enough memorable set pieces and visible set pieces so that you don't really need a map.
Yeah.
Ymir Forest, Lantheon Gorge, they're not complicated areas, and they're pretty much straightforward.
Yeah. The challenge of this place is navigating it.
Right.
Alright. Hence the exception.
Right, like I said, this is one of the few dungeons where a map would have been nice, but since Symphonia's dungeon design doesn't really require maps, it's not... they didn't implement it for this one. Which I don't, you know, fault them for, really. And like I said, I can't really blame myself for this one. Of course, this also eats up a shitload of recording time for me, so I'm like... So at one point, I'm like going over the standard 2-hour mark that we have as a rule here at SGB, and like going for at least 2:05, so that I can get to the save point quicker.
Yeah. I know I'm supposed to be weightless. It just looks like you forgot how to walk.
Yeah, seriously. They cut out the walking animation to save time.
Running out of money, man.
Now this time you're only going to go up here to that elevator there, and then come to the second block puzzle. You'll notice me hesitating. That's me looking up the guide to know exactly the path I want to take, as opposed to fucking up constantly and getting lost. Does me no good here.
There was a skit. It was a skit that you didn't activate. Oh, there it is.
Empty, silent world. So quiet you could hear a really loud fart.
What?
You have to imagine that in Welgaia. Just when you think of it, just the concept of a fart would be utterly alien to them. Like you're just
Isn't
going
it so
about
silent
business.
that you can hear a ninja's church fart?
Exactly.
There you go. What a nice breeze.
Some of the angels are probably so disingenuous by the concept of a fart they wouldn't even care about it too much.
Yeah.
I made a movement. It's wet. It's wet. It's smelly, and I don't want to move.
That's how he says hello.
So here's another waitlist room. This one here is kind of straightforward for the most part, so you don't really need a guide here. You're aiming for the red lights up there. Oop.
12 o'clock Hogie.
Essentially.
You know Nathan still gets a kick out of that, right?
I know.
You got a Hogie alarm.
Hey, it was. Hey, let's face it. Primo's does some damn good sandwiches. That's Primo's Hoagies, 15th and Rittner.
There's a pre-homeless Hogie now in South Street. I'm so fucking excited.
There's a Primo's Hoagie at South Street.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck yeah,
Just
that's where
made.
they're at.
There you won't find a better Parmesan chicken sandwich. Chicken Parmesan.
They do really. My favorite from them are the Diablos. Anyway, that's Primo's Hoagies at South Street and at 15th and Rittner. Actually, Rittner and Wolf. Anyway, with that said, let's get back in here. You know what? I'm actually stuttering around here for. I was looking up north and wondering where the fuck I was, failing to realize I came in through a different set of doors. Right, up, left, down, right under the elevator here. Now you can just go straight across down to this lift. Now we're back in this room again, but now we can actually navigate it through to those orange lights.
Yeah, we're at a different angle.
You don't really... I was looking at a guide just to hopefully save time, but honestly, the waitlist rooms here, unlike the ice path, are intuitive enough that the player can easily get through without getting too screwed up. So it's solid design here, actually.
Ice puzzles, well, the sliding puzzles were always more of those, it's only a matter of time sort of things.
Right. And now we found our third lock, along with a chest. Holy circlet. I almost thought that was a euphemism for saying holy shit.
Holy circuit, Batman.
Far weaker than the rune circlet, so no point in having it unless you want some extra holy defense, I guess. Booyah! The elevator key, we're out of here. Now I get myself a bit tripped up because it's sort of like one of those cases where you know when you're like in a puzzle room, you're expecting to solve it according to the puzzle. I sort of get myself a bit stumped because it's like, wait a minute, how come I can't get out of here? And I was like, oh duh, I went the wrong fucking way each time.
I'm trying to go north, but I'm not getting up there. You're going south, Lord!
You would think weightlessness would apply. You have full 360-degree control here.
Perish the thought, Matt.
Or, you know, levitation. We
Or at least you can, like, drop
go
kick
north
stuff.
here, and this is what I don't do. Bathroom break.
Cut. And we're
there
back. So we're up.
It really wasn't a bathroom break.
No. So where's the next destination now with the elevator key? I know the elevator's the obvious answer, but I'm just saying, where is the elevator?
You're gonna ask me, a guy who can't navigate this place for shit, where something is.
Where's the end of the game, Matt?
Right there. No, wait, back. Oh, you know what I do? I get so anal about looking for the chests, I take some extra time to look for them. So I actually waste a lot of time here looking for other treasure chests I might have missed.
That corner scares me.
Yeah, right? Then I say, wang it.
There are some things that, you know, when we're playing this game, there are some interactive objects that just kind of blend in with the background. They don't pop.
Right. I have no idea again why I equipped him with a dark weapon, because I think I'm going to be fighting angels on the way out. I don't.
Ooh.
I literally to go down to Earth. I'd be utterly fucking bored if the elevator was that long.
Space elevator. You know, I hear they're trying to work on one.
I don't know why you'd want one.
So you can transfer products from Earth to a space station, I suppose. Though I don't think, you know, when I say space elevator, I don't mean like a really fucking tall elevator.
That's what I was thinking.
You know, they call it a space elevator. But
May as well call it a rocket.
Maybe. Yeah. Space elevator.
The elevator to heck? Alright, there's my way out. I take a last moment here to recheck myself before I wreck myself. I give Lloyd the amethyst here because I do remember that I think there is a boss battle and I get a little over-prepared for it. There's also no point because I don't think he's actually weak to darkness. It's just one of those natural ticks. You know, like when you're in a dungeon and you fight like a whole bunch of plant monsters that are weak to fire and the boss isn't weak to fire? It's sort of like that here.
This is the sword Yggdrasil struck me with.
Could this be the eternal sword?
There it is. But why leave it out here?
No way! Nobody'd leave a sword that important in a place like this.
But that's the point, Zelos, to make you think like that.
It's the Wonder Chef. That would be a real fucking pisser. Right at the end of this, you lift the Eternal Sword and the Wonder Chef teaches you how to make fucking...
I'm going to teach you how to make Ragnarok.
A waste of effort.
Yeah.
Yggdrasil. The eternal sword can
Disco Stew.
right.
Ever since somebody pointed out that I look like a giant disco suit,
It
I
does.
can't unsee it.
It does look like a disco outfit, man.
I can't unsee it.
He's only missing some rollerblades.
Really are a pathetic bunch. It matters not.
Is there any sort of uncopyrighted disco themes you could use for one of his boss battles?
I don't think I could look for public domain. I could look for public domain disco songs. I could try. No guarantees though.
Alright.
Your journey is futile.
My journey is not futile. I came this far.
Now shut up and boogie.
Seriously, fuck you, jerk.
Besides, what does splitting the world in two even have to do with that? The worlds still exist only because they were separated into two.
Really?
No. It's because of being split in two that there's not enough mana, and countless people are suffering.
The one thing about Lloyd, though, here, which kind of draws a bit of ire, is that
Shortage of mana.
it's not just because of a shortage of mana, but there's other problems aside from mana. Mana is important to the world, and it's very more important than life, than water to this world. We've already gotten that. But you've got issues like classism, racism, sexism, and shit like that that you're not going to solve just with mana. There's too many other problems as
Yeah.
well.
Great war.
Way too many variables. Mana is only part of the equation.
Don't change the subject. There's a mana shortage.
Don't give me that
because
jive
won't
talk,
let the
Tucky.
Great Sea germinate. I am not changing the subject. Even if the giant tree were to be revived, another war would make it wither and die. Wars are caused by two opposing forces.
Mostly by one side sleeping with the other sister.
Isolate the powers that caused that foolish Karlan war.
So basically, Yggdrasil split the world in two to isolate the Silveranti and the Tethealan who caused the war.
But yeah, there's gonna be wars in between worlds anyway.
Right.
You know. What are you gonna do about that?
He
Split those
created
worlds
the,
up?
yeah, he did that, and he created the
No,
it caused a shortage of mana as well between the two worlds, which prohibited Magi technology growth.
Yeah, but you know, initially he split the worlds up in two because he wanted to prevent war between
Damn.
those people. But you know, wars are gonna happen anyway within other planets. So what are you gonna do when a war breaks out in Silverant? Gonna split Silverant in two? Make two Silverants? What about Tethealu? If war breaks out in that planet, you gonna split that world up in two as well? Yeah, two. You know.
Yggdrasil just tried to pull a combination here between Lloyd and himself about how Colette abandoned the world to save Silverant, just as Yggdrasil did to save Martel.
A world without discrimination. That is the way to save the world.
A world without discrimination. That's...
Similar to what you're shooting for, kiddo?
Fear and hate what is not normal. They are scared of those that are different.
Regal said as much back in his
Solution
set.
is for everyone to become the same.
But the solution's
By
fucked.
using the X-spheres to eliminate the different bloods that flow through elves and humans, everyone on this earth will become the same lifeless beings. Discrimination will vanish. That is the grand age I strive for.
Everyone? The same?
This is how dictators usually gain
Yeah,
their
via
powers.
nothingness,
Both
genus.
exist for this purpose.
You mean all return to the
Race is
void?
born from discrimination.
Yes, thank you, giant talking great tree.
Thank you, Carlon Tree.
It is my
He's
pleasure.
a really nice guy. Always telling me to embrace the stillness of eternity. You gotta see him on Saturdays.
Genus here is a representation of how people are gathered to these kind of dictatorships. Basically, just by having some really good persuasive words in oral communication
Because you're
skills.
looking at the ideals at face value. You're not really thinking about the implications of the costs of those ideals.
First, you'll hand over the
But I can sort of forgive Genus because he's still pretty young.
That, and he was also he's also heavily embittered as well by the constant human discrimination.
Yeah.
Disco Jesus round 2.
Can we actually win this time?
Nope.
Oh man.
But we still got to scan him for the book. You do better though, in the sense of, you know, at least you get a few good hits in before he decides to outburst and blow you the fuck out.
Yeah, because the first battle was an outright curb stomp. So this is not going to be so much of a curb stomp, but, you know, you still got to lose this battle.
You may have noticed something. I'm doing a little extra damage there with big numbers. I think it's because I have the dark weapons equipped. Or just by sheer coincidence that the weapons that both Genus and that both Lloyd and Regal have are effective against angelic beings. I'm willing to believe it's the former, but whatever.
And Colette is down for the count.
Ding ding!
Oh, you're wasting a life bottle.
For my character development, I care about Colette. Oh yeah, well I was also up in Welgaia. I switched around Lloyd's basic technique, Hurricane Thrust for Sonic Thrust, because when you equip that with a Lightning Blade, you gain Lightning Blade. Similar with Lightning Blade, with Super Sonic Thrust. If you have that in a Lightning Weapon, you gain Super Lightning Blade, which are the same techs that Kratos has been using. Angelic Sickness, Lloyd.
Ow!
Who the fuck are you again?
I think we encountered her like 30 parts ago.
I should move. What? Oh no.
Lord Yggdrasil.
Pronema, why are you here?
Sir, new activity in the regards to that certain matter as...
Understood. Not always is there a way to save everyone. Remember that. Lloyd, the path you seek is nothing but an illusion.
No! He's used flash photography on us!
We're just a random encounter, Dan.
May as well have been.
And Genius discovers something that we already know.
It can't be. It can't be.
Uh-oh.
What's wrong, Genus? Nothing.
I thought the flute was one of a
You must
kind.
recall that
Genius?
it's impossible.
Right. Let's head back for now.
Head back where again? We'll find out later.
Why was he carrying that?
Huh?
Why was he carrying that?
Maybe he likes to play a few notes on his side too. Genus disturbed. Is he listening to the band?
We live to fight another day yet again. Because Joshua has an update on a activity?
Yeah. Might be something to do with Ewan.
Maybe.
Anyway, this is the first time we actually walked willingly out of the Tower of Salvation.
Let us never speak of it again.
Now we're heading to Altessa's place tomorrow. See you guys then.